Hi, and welcome to this episode of John's Motorcycle Rescue and Review. Today, I'm going to be going over a few tips on selling a motorcycle. One thing to keep in mind, most people hate selling things, and it's stressful, and so what I'm going to go over today is just a few things that you can do ahead of time, a little bit of preparation on your end if you're selling a vehicle or a motorcycle here. There are several things you can do ahead of time that will make the transaction smooth and easy. Okay, I'm going to start with the obvious. The first thing you want to do is make sure that your bike is clean and presents nicely. There's a saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression, and that is certainly true when you're selling a vehicle. Really, a bike that presents well, it usually conveys that you care about your machine and you keep it well. Those two things usually go hand in hand. So it really will pay you in the end to, take the bike, wash it, make sure it's clean and looks nice. The next thing that, it seems like common sense, but it's definitely something that you want to do is make sure that the bike functions as it should. So, take it out the day before, make sure it runs as it should, start the bike up, drive it around, make sure it's got a full charge on the battery, make sure it has gas in the tank, make sure that the tires have the correct amount of air in them. The more things that you can do to make the bike, kind of closer to new, the more money you're going to get for it. That's just common sense. The third step in the process here is to make sure that you have all of your paperwork in hand and ready to go, and it's all correct. I'm specifically speaking of the title to the vehicle. Kind of check with your local notary or DMV, see what you will need to complete the transaction so that you're an educated seller and you can complete the transaction easily. And this also helps prevent fraud if somebody is trying to scam you. If you know what the requirements are, you're going to be able to spot that a whole lot easier. A fourth thing that you can do to make sure that your transaction is quick and easy and painless is to screen potential buyers. And so if you have somebody who's being kind of a jerk on the phone or over text or email, generally I avoid those kinds of potential buyers, because generally the more of a pain they are up front, the pain doesn't stop once the transaction is completed. They can be just, life's too short to deal with difficult people. Oftentimes, when you're the seller, it's easy to get desperate and to kind of forget these things and then to, almost force yourself to deal with people who are difficult. And, generally, it's not worth it in the end, and it helps to be a little bit patient. And, especially if you have somebody coming to your house or, place of business, you don't want a difficult person who, 2 months down the road, if they get a flat tire, they're going to come back and blame it on you. It's not the kind of buyer that you want. Those are just 4 things that you can do as a potential seller to make sure that you get the most money for your motorcycle. You can have the easiest transaction, that when somebody does come to look at your motorcycle, that they're going to be happy and not disappointed, and that the transaction goes easily from a logistical standpoint. And if you get there and if the buyer gets there with cash in hand and you can't find the title or they're difficult, man, those things can make selling a vehicle or a bike and really, really painful instead of an enjoyable process. And I've bought and sold motorcycles for many years, and I've met a lot of really cool people. And for the most part, if you just follow these simple steps, you treat people with respect, you can make that selling process or the buying process just a super easy process, and it doesn't have to be confrontational. It doesn't have to be stressful. It can actually be enjoyable. In summary, the 4 key things that you can do to make selling a vehicle painless and easy and fun: make sure the bike presents well. Wash it before the person comes. Make sure it runs like it should before they get there. Make sure you've got your documentation in order if they do want the bike. And really, it's not worth it to deal with difficult people. So if you follow those 4 steps, this can be a really enjoyable process, and I hope that helps. I hope you found this video entertaining and informative, and until next time, enjoy the ride.